Ambassador, Chairperson of Bangladesh Institute of International and Security Studies, His Excellency Harshvardhan Singla, High Commissioner Riva Ganguly, and Acting Director General of Bangladesh Institute of International and Security Studies, ladies and gentlemen. I must say, this is the most extraordinary gathering of people I have seen in a very long time. Everybody, there are members in the audience from every profession, organization, government, civil society, media, theater, ex-diplomats, current diplomats, you know it, you name it, and they are here. And it is only appropriate that this meeting is taking place as a preparatory effort towards the visit of Indian Prime Minister later in the month. I want to really congratulate you, High Commissioner, for pulling together such an extraordinary. Obviously, you were helped by the personality of your Foreign Secretary. There is something many of you may not know or may not be fully aware of. Everything that has happened in the making of Bangladesh-India relations, the Foreign Secretary, in his various incarnations, has been central to those efforts. Former High Commissioner Tariq Karim is there. Former Foreign Secretary Shahid is there. They will recall that all that has happened in the last 10, 11 years, not only your fingerprints are very much visible, but I want to go a little further and to say, but for your most dedicated and consistent support while you were Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs dealing with Bangladesh, then more directly as the High Commissioner, and now, of course, as the Foreign Secretary. We owe all these great successes to you. We briefly missed you when you were away to the exalted position of the Ambassador to Washington. But I can also tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he continued to play a very supporting role for Bangladesh in Washington as well. So, thank you, Singla. Harshvardhan, thank you so much. My task today, I have to be brief because all the predecessors have set an extraordinary example of brevity, so I don't want to spoil the fine tradition. But my task was made easier, and I'm not saying this is to be funny. I could have, if I were smart enough and capable of writing as well as you do, I could have read your speech and said, I stand for everything that you have said. And this is the beauty of India and Bangladesh relations. The relationship between these two countries is a heaven-made relationship. It's a relationship which is completely, totally, mutually beneficial. And although now and then there are issues where we disagree, and indeed we will continue to disagree, as all neighbors do, but when you think of it seriously, there does not seem to be any outstanding issue that mars our relationship. And when some issues do come up, we have to remind ourselves that, and this is most important, that we have to take a long-term view of Indo-Bangladesh relations. It is in our interest, it is to our benefit, just as it is to India's benefit, and there is no issue that cannot be resolved. the Foreign Secretary has referred to Teesta issue, and he has also said, while we are dealing with that, and we will the question of water sharing must remain immediate priority and important for us. We should go on and not just be waiting for one river to be resolved, but to go and address other river problems as well. And I want to remind everybody, and I believe it was during Prime Minister's visit in August 2011, that we had agreed that instead of talking about a single river at a time, we will work towards a basin-wide settlement and agreement so that these trivial single issues, irritations should be removed altogether for all times to come. And I'm glad the process has resumed. I am glad progress is being made, but obviously none of us are happy at the speed at which we are progressing. We need to expedite these things because people of both countries deserve better rather than in this bureaucratic infighting and argument. This is an issue of utmost and prime importance. The Foreign Secretary has enunciated all that has been achieved. One could even elaborate that list, but achievements are undeniable. However, I personally, and maybe this is my impatience, I am not happy at the speed in which some of the things we have agreed upon and are not being implemented as fast. I have exchanged views with the High Commissioner, and she entirely shares our frustration, is that despite all these line of credit available to us, almost 10 years down the road, we have just about completed the first line of credit. That, as we all know, and both governments know, this is truly needs serious attention. His Excellency the Prime Minister of India will be here in a couple of weeks, and our Prime Minister will raise this issue with him as well. We need to find a way of moving these things frontally, quickly, otherwise the opportunities being lost because of the delay are too heavy, too costly to be smug about. Not only we must expedite the implementation of the line of credit, but also we need to take fresh look and dream of, articulate new vision as to where and how far further Bangladesh and India can go. And this is the time to do it. We know there will be a number of agreements signed during the Prime Minister's visit, but I would say more important than that is we lay out a fresh vision. The vision that was laid out in January 2010, a roadmap was created in 2010, has served its purpose well, but we need to go beyond. I'm very happy that during question and answers, some of the burning issues that were in your mind, you have articulated that, and I'm equally grateful to you, Foreign Secretary, for answering those things candidly. These are, I reiterate what the Foreign Secretary has said. Our Prime Minister had said this long time ago, that these are India's internal affairs, and we have been assured again and again and again in the last 3-4 years, again, not just in the last 6 months, in the last 3-4 years that these would not impact us domestically here. And we are all have accepted that, and we have good reasons, good faith to know why we should not worry about it. Although it is true that we are a secular society, our commitment to secularism is absolutely central. And we do not want to have any situation where our secularism will be threatened in any way. And that is why we will need to continue to work closely with India to ensure that our secular society grows from strength to strength. Minorities in Bangladesh are not only sacred, but they are absolute equal citizens of this country. So there is no question whatsoever that their interests in a secular Bangladesh society can be affected. Government attaches the highest priority to the protection and welfare of our minority citizens. And I want to reassure you all that there is no way we will look back or look away if our minorities are affected in any possible way. They are making invaluable contribution to the country's growth, the country's development in every aspect. And we want to continue to provide them with the opportunities. We are committed to Agenda 2030, where nobody should be left behind. And here we are targeting all those disadvantaged groups, historically left behind groups, so that they can also come up. And in our development of this sector, in their training, in providing them with job skills, opportunities, we have been working with India and will continue to look forward to working with India, and that will be an important part of our going forward. So let me end by saying we have achieved much together. We have created a relationship which would be envy of any two neighbors in the world. We have resolved issues which for over 7 decades had not been resolved in a peaceful manner, in which the two governments always took the position that everything we do must not affect the interests of the citizens of either country. In other words, all settlements, whether it is boundary settlement, adverse possession, the enclaves, were all done with people's interest in mind and people's interest of both the countries, and as a result, we achieved something that would not have been otherwise achieved. I don't want to stand here and simply applaud and recall all the wonderful things that have happened and continue to happen. But at the same time, as I said earlier, and I want to say it again, that we need to look forward. Ours is a long-term relationship, and we need to find long-term solutions to all the problems that there are, rather than throwing up our hands in the air and say, oh God, what do we do? With those words, let me end today. I thank you, Foreign Secretary, for coming back, as you said, to your home. And keep coming back. I know the life of an Indian Foreign Secretary is busy, and the whole globe is his bailiwick. But we are special, so come back to us. And thank you, High Commissioner, for hosting this wonderful event. With those, I end my comments here. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, long live India-Bangladesh relationship.